I just want to touch on the latest happenings at Twitter at the weekend with Elon Musk now having his latest temper tantrum and his latest delayed reaction to not being hugged enough as a child by putting reader limits on the amount of tweets that even verified users who pay him money can read on a daily basis now over the weekend. A decision that nobody likes, a decision that he's coming out swinging with regards to telling his unhappy users to touch grass and claiming that the news has got record engagement figures again because he just doesn't want to deal with it. A decision that apparently is rumored to be because he just hasn't paid his Google Cloud bill, and now he's trying to spin it as for the good of the site and so on and so forth. Again, rumors. I don't know if that's actually the case. And for those of you who don't know me, actually in my day job outside of this, part of it is I manage a social media team for a big company. So this impacts me in multiple ways because obviously it impacts me in my day job, but also it impacts me in terms of page 180 because obviously we're trying to build a new brand here and trying to build it in the way that I know and has worked for me in the past with low blows. From the ground up. And generally, like the way they say you build a podcast from the ground up is you get a celebrity involved. And obviously that's not the case. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not an influencer. I'm not really willing to kind of go that route either. I would like to build from the ground up and I've done it before, but I've had to make some changes because of that. And as a result, what I've had to do, and this is a temporary measure because I've always wanted page 180 to stand on its own 2 feet and not just be me. Again, similar to how things would have been if you're familiar with how it ran low blows. There's multiple people who are, a part of the page 180 kind of world that I want to be able to kind of, sew in together as a brand. I want to be able to do cool things as kind of things get bigger. Hopefully they will at one stage, and so on and so forth. But a lot of the changes that have been brought in, not just this weekend, have made it near impossible for brands to be able to build in the way that we, for example, were at one stage with the likes of low blows and so on. It is very, very difficult now, and I've noticed it. And unfortunately, all of page 180's existence has existed throughout the course of Elon Musk's reign of terror at Twitter. So previously, and a lot of this still remains true, but the hows and the specifics around it are different. Previously, the way you would have built a brand from scratch is you put the work in, you build a solid foundation. So you need to kind of get a feeling and just trial and error and see kind of, if it's a podcast, you got to see what the show is and what the content is and what you offer that your audience likes. So you need feedback, and it's great to get like direct feedback and great to ask you guys for that, and you guys are great for giving that as well, but also it's not your job to have to do that and have to tell me like how to run a good show. It's my job to figure that stuff out. And again, people don't often know what they want, and as a creator you have to be kind of one step ahead of your audience. You have to be creating something that they haven't thought of yet, because if they thought of it, they just do it themselves, and then you're pretty much useless. So, and I find it very helpful now because I've run a TikTok for the first time as part of the show, and I find that very helpful. That tells me kind of what's good, what's not, because it's literally just in people's algorithms. I can target them through their interests, so that they see the videos if it's something that they'd be interested in. And then it basically decides if people keep watching the videos, they'll show it to more people and more people. So I know what's working and what's not, and I can kind of adjust based on kind of what I have to offer and what I think would be interesting and the show that I want this to be. And again, like kind of you do that and you build the show that you want the show to be. You make it good. You have to be good enough that your base of people who subscribe to you and listen every week kind of will come back every week, and there's a reason for them and they enjoy it and they feel a part of it and they feel that it represents kind of a hole that they're missing in their lives. But also, how do you get new listeners and how do you get new subscribers in? And that's true kind of virality. That's true creating new content that gets shared and liked and retweeted and this and that and the other. With Twitter now the way it is, because of the changes they put into their algorithm under Elon Musk, it's impossible to get that feedback because if you aren't already starting from a place where you have at least a small but noticeable base, it's impossible to get on that ladder, because the only way you can still go viral in theory, but over the past few years, and Elon Musk isn't the only person responsible for this, but he is one of the main perpetrators of this. Social media companies have realized that actually people don't necessarily want to share content, and we'll get a lot more engagement. You'll notice that Elon Musk is bragging about how people were engaged, and there's record figures for the tweets that he put out about the limits that he was putting in, an idea that has been universally panned, almost unanimously. Everyone in the world hates it. It's ridiculous. It's no one is saying this is good. It is literally because he's not paying his bills or he wants to earn more money through the blue tick. It is a selfish reason that he's doing this, and he's trying to make it seem, and lying and trying to gaslight the world into making it seem like it's for our benefit somehow. But the changes that have been brought in terms of the algorithm and in terms of what people get shown, social media companies have realized that just like Elon Musk, they do get higher engagement based off content that makes people upset or angry rather than content that actually entertains people. So what that would mean is that for a small brand with no kind of celebrity at the core to just get off the ground based on its own merit, you'd have to kind of play into that, and you'd almost have to troll your audience. And you'll see that where there's a lot of alt-right kind of content that gets a lot of tractions very quickly, and so on and so forth, because it does play into that. It either feeds people's conspiracy theory mindset and so on and so forth, that they're getting upset at the government or the theories that are being thrown out there, or on the other side, it makes people on the opposite side who don't believe any of those, it makes them angry, and then they share these opinions to try and debunk them and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of content that gets engagement in a social media world where Elon Musk is a major power broker. So instead of me actually just turning around this week and saying Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is, a fun, if kind of ridiculous romp that you should just go see because it's a bit of crack, which is kind of a middle of the road opinion, but it's actually true. And I want, again, you're getting back to having to satisfy your base audience. And that satisfaction is based off me being able to entertain you and provide you with fresh content, but also you being able to trust the words I say. And actually the experience that you have, if you listen to my recommendations on a movie or TV show to watch, it has to live up to how you feel, or you at least have to, even if you don't agree, you at least have to understand where I came from and know that it's a legitimate opinion. Otherwise, why would you listen to me? What is my value worth if I'm just going to lie for the sake of getting engagement? But if I wanted to get engagement, what I'd have to say is something like, if you go see the new Indiana Jones movie, you're a pedophile, and here are 6 reasons why. You know what I mean? And it'd be something where, you're going to be like, this is ridiculous. Or people are like, I told the world that was true. And that's the kind of content that succeeds under Elon Musk. So what I'm going to do is, while Twitter is becoming impossible to use, and I don't believe that whatever is happening right now is sustainable. I think we can all see that. I think this is a temporary measure. I'm going to pause action on the Page 180 account, at least temporarily. And I'm going to move everything over to my own personal account, where at least I have a base of people who have followed me and have kind of accumulated that over the years. And at least that gives it a chance of being seen and being fit into people's algorithms and timelines to be one of their 600 tweets they can read per day. And I'm going to do that for what I wanted to be a temporary measure. Another reason for it is value for money. So you may have noticed that I am like on the Page 180 pod, I am actually a Twitter Blue subscriber. I'm not a subscriber, as some people would say, because, people are paying to get followers. That's not a function that it offers, actually. It's not something that is part of the package. I think that's just something that butthurt celebrities who had their blue ticks taken away from them, and thereby their little status measure that tells them that they're better than people and just soothes that part of their ego they need fed every day. I think that's just a conspiracy theory they came up with about why people get that. it's also not something that I didn't get it because I care about having a blue tick. If anything, I would remove the blue tick. It is the worst part about having that subscription. But I am a content creator, and there are some interesting features that are worthwhile getting. And again, like if it's something that you take seriously, and while Page 180 is very much a hobby for me, as with all my hobbies, it's something that I like to take seriously. It's something that I like to actually do the right way. So €11 a month actually isn't a big investment for me, for the sake of being able to do things like post videos that are longer than 2 minutes 20 seconds, and not have to either try and cherry pick 2 minutes to 20 seconds of content from a 5-minute or 10-minute video, and actually lose the context of the rest of the video. So, or make it so you have to actually go somewhere else to watch the video. I'd rather just give you the video as it's intended to be. Or have to cater my content to fit into that window, which would be even worse, because then I'm tailoring specific content just because of the constraints. I'm being program led rather than actually content led or people led or viewer led, which I don't think is the way to go either. So there's a few features like that I like with Twitter Blue, but ultimately, like, kind of if you're posting into the abyss, there's nothing there. So that's the situation. I'm going to be moving over to @JR_Leggett. The link is in the show notes. Effective immediately. While I still have the subscription to Page 180, I'm going to post some videos through there for the same reasons I've just explained. And then I'm going to move the subscription over to my current account. For whatever reason, again, I don't know why he set it up this way, but you can't have two blue tick subscriptions from the same person via the same iTunes account. It's a stupid system, but I have to wait until one cancels to be able to get it on the other. So I will kind of keep some kind of semblance, but if you follow my main page, you'll get all the kind of new updates there. So I want to explain why that was and just give a bit of commentary and insight into the actual real world effects, because this is obviously a big story that is impacting a lot of people, but I want to show you what it's like for people who actually are trying to work around this and build stuff, and the actual day-to-day effects and decisions that have to be made by people who are just trying to, literally, I am trying to pay this person money to get a service so I can just do my job. I'm trying to like do my day job, and like, again, literally just help out people who contact us and be able to support them properly. And again, all of this is just being made difficult because we have a fool at the wheel who is then telling his viewers that are telling his unhappy customers to use his product less and go out and touch grass or spend time with their family instead of being upset at him for not paying his bills. When really the reality is he is literally just projecting, because him giving out about others being addicted to Twitter, mate, you're literally the only person on this fucking planet who paid Dr. Evil level sums of money to actually work at Twitter. Because guess what? If you didn't pay that with the level of incompetence, I doubt you get a fucking summer intern job there. You are making such a balls of this website. Thank you, Elon Musk. We have to now make adjustments, but guess what? Everything's going to be fine. And even if it's just me talking to my 12 viewers or listeners, I'm still happy. But even that would be preferential to having to work with or deal with you, you absolute fucking nightmare and melt.